In the top stories, Prime Minister Harris offers condolences on the sudden death of a permanent secretary in Nevis. Premier Amory praises Prime Minister Harris's leadership. And national consultation on federal youth policy expected to be exciting and interactive. The details on these stories and more after the break. Hello and welcome to the ZIZ Channel 5 newscast. I'm Kyla Berridge. Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris has extended heartfelt condolences to Nevis's junior minister in the Ministry of Social Development, Honorable Hazel Brandy Williams, and her family as she grieves the unexpected loss of her husband, permanent secretary in Nevis's Ministry of Tourism, Carl Williams. The former permanent secretary died on Sunday. Appearing as a special guest on His Excellency Ambassador Michael Powell's radio program, The People's Voice on Sugar City FM on Monday, Prime Minister Harris expressed sincerest condolences to Mrs. Brandy Williams, as well as to her family, the people of Nevis, and the Nevis Island administration. The Prime Minister said, quote, "She, like all those who are mourning at this time, will be in our prayers," end quote. Before reaching the upper ranks of the civil service, Mr. Williams had a long and distinguished career in teaching. Almost 10 years ago, Mr. Williams moved to the Ministry of Tourism, where he would become Assistant Permanent Secretary before being promoted to Permanent Secretary in the Nevis Island administration. The late Mr. Carl Williams received his Teacher's Training Certificate from the St. Kitts Nevis Teachers Training College and a Bachelor of Science degree in Education from the University of Miami. Premier of Nevis Honorable Vance Amory has praised the leadership style of Prime Minister and People's Labour Party leader, Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris. He made the comments during his address at the PLP National Convention on Saturday.
We're looking for strong leaders. And I want to say today, Dr. Harris, leader of PLP, in my opinion, you are a strong man. Not a dictatorial strong man. There's a difference. But a man who likes to listen. A man who's sensitive to the needs of the people. And that makes a big difference.
He noted that under Dr. Harris's leadership, the parties that make up the Team Unity Coalition have re-emphasized their commitment to putting people first.
But I think we've come a long way. And the team, the PLP, as part of the Team Unity, with PAM, People's Action Movement, with the Concerned Citizens Movement, listen to the name. People's Labour Party, People's Action Movement, Concerned Citizens, people. That is the common thread about which we are speaking today.
Premier Amory said the political relationship between all three parties in Team Unity has been solidified under Dr. Harris's leadership, and they are in the best possible position to work for the people. Officials say stakeholders attending the national consultation on the Federal Youth Policy 2017 to 2022 on Tuesday can look forward to an exciting and interactive meeting that, at the end, will outline steps to meet the needs and aspirations of the youth. Youth expert Dwinette Eversley was assigned through the Commonwealth for a 6-month period to assist the St. Kitts and Nevis government to formulate a new and modern policy. Ms. Eversley described the past few months as exciting and productive and said she is looking forward to Tuesday's consultation at the St. Kitts Marriott Resort.
In this exercise, that support and collaboration has been exceptional. With the special advisor to the minister, Mr. Connor, with Pierre Liebert, the director of youth here in St. Kitts, and of course with Zanella Claxton in Nevis, and all the other agencies. I have no complaint about the tremendous support, collaboration that they have given me while they have to be doing their work.
Ms. Eversley explained that the S model addresses the vision for young people in the Federation. She outlined some of the areas covered.
Apart from my professional desire to do the best work I can, that enthusiasm kind of engulfs you, and you want to do even better because you have invested so much in the exercise. And that's how I really feel being here.
Vernon Connor, Special Advisor to the Minister of Youth and Chair of the Youth Policy Steering Committee, said he was proud of the efforts to draft the new policy and has urged persons attending the consultation to come ready to work. After the break, young man shot and killed in Nevis, and NEMA and Education Department to formulate a school safety program. We'll tell you more when we come back. The police in Nevis are currently investigating a shooting in Cotton Ground, Nevis, that left one man dead. According to reports, the shooting occurred at about 4 p.m. on Sunday, March 26th. The incident resulted in the death of Rondell Chapman, a 23-year-old man of Rollins Village. The police said the victim was shot by unknown assailants while at the Cotton Ground playing field. Police from the Cotton Ground police station responded to the scene upon notification. Officers discovered one Glock 9mm pistol with one magazine containing 15 matching rounds of ammunition. According to reports, the firearm was seized and ballistics analysis will be carried out. Head of the Nevis Division, Superintendent Trevor Mills, is urging persons who were in the area and may have seen the incident to report the information to the police. He said persons can do so by calling any police station or by calling Crime Stoppers at 1-800-8477 or by using the SKN Crime Reporter app on their smartphone. Superintendent Mills added, quote, "I encourage the public, if you see something, say something," end quote. The investigation continues. The National Emergency Management Agency is collaborating with the Ministry of Education to implement a school safety program. This is according to Deputy National Disaster Coordinator Clarissa Langley-Stevens, who said the school safety program is a regional initiative.
Most recently, we have been partnering with the Ministry of Education to work with the school safety program, which is a new initiative for the Caribbean region. And NEMA, we play a very integral role in helping the schools to understand how important it is to be able to have an emergency plan, which includes an evacuation plan, which is what we tested them for today. How well did they evacuate their facilities, knowing that it is under threat to be covered by water?
NEMA and its stakeholders recently conducted the annual Natural Disaster Exercise in Sandy Point as part of the Carib Wave 2017 initiative. The exercise also formed part of the school safety program. Members of the general public now have the opportunity to learn a musical instrument as the St. Kitts Nevis Defence Force Band hosts its recruitment program 2017. According to the Director of Music, Captain Nigel Williams, the Defence Force Band will be looking for recruits aged 16 and over in the disciplines of woodwind, brass, and percussion instruments. Williams said that even though the Defence Force Band is usually seen as a band for military parades, it provides an avenue for persons to learn and enjoy a different style of music. The Defence Force Band has been performing for a number of concerts and parades around the island, including the Remembrance Day Parade, Independence Day Parade, the In the Spirit of Christmas Concert, the Independence Gala, and the Governor General's Gala. The recruitment drive will feature instruments such as the drums, saxophone, clarinet, baritone, trumpet, trombone, and the tuba. Enrollment for the 2017 recruitment drive began on Monday, 20th March, and will end on April 3rd. Coming up, thousands rally across Brazil for anti-corruption probe. The details when we come back.
Courts must be crazy. Courts mad again. Courts must be crazy. You can't complain. It's madness. And courts during the month of March. Huge savings up to 50% off and pay nothing for 60 days. Visit a court store near you for pure madness. Look out for crazy deals up to 50% off and you pay nothing for 60 days. The mano only a court. To miss it will be pure madness. Courts must be crazy. What? Courts must be mad. Oh, you mean? Courts must be crazy. Courts mad again. Courts bringing value home.
Brazilians have held nationwide demonstration in support of an anti-corruption investigation, now in its 4th year. The protesters are angry over attempts by the Congress to slow down Operation Car Wash, which has already led to the imprisonment of dozens of politicians and business leaders. Al Jazeera's Teresa Bo reports from Sao Paulo.
They gathered in their thousands across Brazil, demanding an end to institutional corruption, voicing their support for the largest anti-corruption investigation in this country's history, known here as the Car Wash Operation.
We can't take so much corruption any longer. It's enough. The Brazilian people can't take it anymore.
Everybody's taking part in their scheme. They steal from the people, they sell rotten meat and charge us for it. That's Brazil's government.
The Car Wash Operation revealed how billions of dollars were stolen through deals involving Brazil's state-owned company Petrobras. Some of the country's most powerful politicians and businessmen have been prosecuted.
Public support has been crucial for this investigation. From the very beginning, prosecutors had as an objective to keep the public informed of their findings, of any new developments. The strategy was to get support to avoid politicians from shutting down the investigation.
It began 3 years ago. Members of all political parties have been implicated, including members of President Michel Temer's cabinet. Protesters want investigators to keep digging.
Porque são muitos políticos envolvidos. A população ficaria
There are many politicians involved. If nothing happens, the population will get extremely frustrated. An investigation that's been going on for so many years, it's probably the biggest corruption scandal in our history.
Prosecutors have told Al Jazeera they're not going to stop now.
We're going to see now facts, crimes being revealed to the public, crimes that were committed, corruption that took place in 12 different countries and several states in Brazil. We're going to see how widespread this system of corruption, this scheme of corruption was. But not only in Brazil, also in other countries in Latin America.
These protesters say they'll continue to take to the streets to support the investigation and as a warning to anyone wanting the car wash operation to end. Teresa Bo, Al Jazeera, Sao Paulo, Brazil.
The sound of bullets could be heard as rival gangs in Trinidad engaged in a fiery shootout on Friday evening. CNews' Sherilyn Lewis has the latest.
It looks like a scene from an action flick, but it's no movie. This was the scene on the main road in Enterprise near Freedom Street on Friday night. Relatives of late gang leader Salvin Alexis Robocop started these massive fires in response to the assassination of his brother Sylvan Alexis. Though the police quickly responded to the scene to try and quell the situation, it wasn't enough to stop the shootout by alleged unruly ISIS gang members and a rival group of gunslingers. Police officers on the scene started to search the grocery and car wash owned by the Alexis family, which enraged some members of the community who said the police should investigate the real criminals. It took several hours before the situation could be normalized.
Coming up, Uber under fire after self-driving vehicle crashes. The details when we come back. The transport company Uber has suspended tests of its self-driving cars after a vehicle was involved in a crash in the U.S. state of Arizona. Uber has been swamped by problems in recent weeks, including the sudden unexplained resignation of company president Jeff Jones amid allegations of sexual harassment and a lawsuit filed by Google alleging Uber stole trade secrets. Al Jazeera's Kristen Salumi reports from Washington, D.C.
Police blame the driver of the other car for failing to yield, but it was an Uber self-driving vehicle that flipped and caused the ride-hailing company to slam the brakes on its pilot program. An Uber spokesperson tells Al Jazeera, "We are continuing to look into this incident and can confirm we had no backseat passengers in the vehicle." Uber is one of several companies, including Google, General Motors, and Ford, field testing driverless technology. And this isn't the first accident involving a self-driving car. The operator of a Tesla test vehicle was killed in an accident last year.
Maybe the technology isn't as reactive as it needs to be. We as drivers learn when we have to slam on our brakes or how to swerve or things to do to avoid an accident. And clearly, because the other person didn't do what it was supposed to do, the automobile was not able to react in a time that would prevent an accident.
Uber has been dogged by bad news in recent weeks, including the sudden, unexplained resignation of company president Jeff Jones, allegations of sexual harassment, and a lawsuit filed by Google alleging Uber stole trade secrets.
The fact that Google filed for an injunction this early in the case indicates that they've got a pretty strong hand to play. And the really telling sign will be late in April when a judge actually hears the case. And if he decides to grant the injunction that would stop Uber from doing this kind of testing, it could be crippling to Uber's self-driving car program.
Uber could not tell Al Jazeera when its self-driving fleet will be back on the road. No one was injured in the crash, but there may yet be an impact to Uber's business. Kristen Salumi, Al Jazeera, Washington.
Civilians from western Mosul are blaming aerial attacks for causing the most casualties in the offensive. More than 500,000 people are trapped in the ISIL held west of the city, which Iraqi forces are trying to recapture. Some of the residents who have managed to flee said they have been living under constant bombardment. More in this report.
They had watched the war unfolding in the east of Mosul, rejoicing at the news that it had been recaptured. But as Iraqi forces advanced west, ISIL fighters retreated among them. Bilal says she and her neighbors were besieged. The fighting intensified. There was no food and no help except for one another.
We were bombed from all sides. There were mortar rounds, but we don't know if they were being fired by the army or ISIL. We all stayed together in one room. It was petrifying. There was constant shelling and intense bombing from the air. The house was trembling as if it was an earthquake. The strikes were so powerful.
Her son, already disabled, was injured by a mortar shell.
When the army approached, ISIL kicked us out of our home. To escape, we went from one block to another. We hid in houses. Sometimes we were up to 90 people under one roof.
All the patients here are from western Mosul. It has seen the toughest fighting yet. From room to room, they tell stories of frequent airstrikes. Ahmed says it's the aerial attacks that are causing most casualties. This man's story is the most heart-wrenching. He was in his house with his 8 children, his wife, and members of his extended family. In total, they were 22 when it was hit by an airstrike. Everybody died except for him, and he stayed under the rubble for about 5 days before he was rescued. His face is burnt, one leg and one arm are broken. A relative tells us he still hasn't realized that he lost everything, family and home. There is no liberation without destruction, says Saad. His cousin Ghanem is lying in bed too weak to talk. He broke his leg and shrapnel tore through his abdomen.
Wherever there's the army and ISIL, everything turns to rubble. ISIL sets everything on fire before retreating. Schools, clinics, government buildings, private homes, cars, all went in flames.
Ghanim's wife is not far away in the female ward. She's just come out of surgery. Their son Zakaria complains about the stitches. He's restless and longs to see his father. So Saad carries him through the dim corridor, and Zakaria finally settles down. A moment of joy for a father and son in pain. Abdul Hamid, Al Jazeera in northern Iraq.
Up next in sports, Dr. William Connor Primary celebrates its championship victory, and Special Olympics receive medals for achievements in national games. Stay tuned.
It's the Courts Home Event. Shop today and complete your kitchen, your dining room, and your entertainment room. Shop using Ready Finance. It's easy, affordable, and flexible credit. Plus, you pay nothing down on purchases 24 months and over. So come in today and get great deals to complete your home at the Courts Home Event. Courts, bringing value home.
The staff and students of Dr. William Connor Primary School were in high spirits on Monday morning, fresh off their victory at the Rams Primary School Championships on the weekend. Dr. William Connor Primary took first place, 17 gold medals, 4 silver and 3 bronze. The school also featured the under-9 male champion, Jerick Morrison, under-11 female champion, Adisha Berkeley, and the runner-up for under-13 girls, Kaima Rollins. Diet Bay Primary took second place with 9 gold and 4 bronze. Third place went to Sandy Point Primary with 6 gold medals, 10 silver and 12 bronze. Principal Valencia Sider told ZIZ that the victory was historic, as it was the first time the school has won by such a large margin. She credited it to the hard work of the sports master, staff and the students, and said everyone was very happy with the results. Dozens of Special Olympians have received medals for their achievements in the 2017 Special Olympics National Games held over the past few days. The athletes from St. Kitts Nevis, Cayman Islands, St. Martin and Connecticut have been participating in track and field, tennis, bocce and swimming. The prize-giving ceremony took place at the St. Christopher Club following the swim meet. In declaring the swim meet open, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Sport, Stanley Knight, said the staging of the Games fall under the ministry's commitment to pursue the theme Sports for All.
When we say sport for all, we mean that. We mean creating opportunities for everyone, because access to physical education, access to physical activity and exercise is a God-given right. He made us to move, and that is what we want to do. We want to move.
Officials say about 130 athletes participated in these games. Special Olympics provides quality training and competition opportunities for persons with intellectual disabilities here in the Federation on a year-round basis. South Carolina has advanced to the NCAA Final Four, a historic move for the college basketball team. Here's more.
South Carolina entered this year's NCAA tournament, their first NCAA tournament since 2004 and their fifth NCAA tournament in the last 43 years, having never won 2 consecutive tourney games in the history of the program. On Sunday afternoon in Madison Square Garden, Frank Martin led the Gamecocks to their 4th straight win and their first trip to the Final Four. Sendarius Thornwell scored 11 of his 26 points in the final 10 minutes, leading number 7 seed South Carolina back from a 40-33 halftime deficit for a 77-70 win over number 4 seed Florida. And that is where this team has changed in March.
With a stunning come-from-behind win, racehorse Arrogate has taken home $6 million at the 2017 Dubai World Cup. Here's more.
The Dubai World Cup, where the favorite Arrogate came from last place after a delay out of the stalls to win by an impressive 2 1/4 length. Well, this latest win makes the 4-year-old Arrogate the highest earning racehorse ever, surpassing California's Chrome, winner of the same race last year.
When we come back, we'll have another look at the stories that made the headlines. Recapping the top stories. Prime Minister Harris offers condolences on the sudden death of a permanent secretary in Nevis. Premier Amory praises Prime Minister Harris's leadership. And national consultation on federal youth policy expected to be exciting and interactive. And finally, Florida native Karen Thomas has learned that the middle of the street is probably not the best way to have breakfast. Lakeland police say they got a call about a man sitting in a chair at a TV table in the crosswalk of Memorial Boulevard. He had a bottle of syrup and pancakes with what appeared to be bacon and scrambled eggs on a plate in front of him. Video shows several vehicles stopping and trying to navigate around him. Police said the man left before officers arrived, but they later found a video of the breakfast break on Facebook where several people had tagged the alleged eater. They went back to the intersection Thursday and found a suspect, Karen Thomas, 21, living about 100 yards away. Thomas told investigators the whole thing was a prank. He was cited on charges of placing an obstruction in the roadway and disrupting the free flow of traffic. Police issued a court date for him in April. And that's the end of the ZIZ Channel 5 newscast. Thank you for joining us. I'm Carla Verge. Goodbye.